Daniel Bryan is back, and to be honest, that's all that matters. I wouldn't really give two if WWE booked Daniel Bryan versus a B. I mean, the B would go over because of course it would. You know what? I don't care. I was never meant to see Daniel Bryan versus the B. He was meant to be gone from the ring forever. So really, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to be happy. However, that doesn't mean that we can't look at the situation critically. And that's what I intend to do today. Because if you do take a little step back and look at the wrestling landscape at the moment, you can kind of maybe just a little bit think to yourself, I'm not 100% sure WWE wants to use Daniel Bryan in the same way that I, the wrestling fan, hope that they do indeed use Daniel Bryan. There's reasons for all of that though, or at least I think there are, and that's why, I don't think that WWE is about to treat Daniel Bryan like a main eventer. Why? Here's why. Just to reiterate, yes, I love Daniel Bryan, and if I was running the WWE, and what a world that would be, can you imagine that? I'd make him my guy. He's just the best babyface in the world because he's so easy to root for. And if I want a good guy to win, to me, that's the most important trait you need. I want him to win everything, and I'd probably still be behind him if he was in a championship match for the women's title, and that makes me a buffoon. But let's not forget where we were originally, even though now it was a few years ago. Even when DB was basically injury-free, or at least not in the situation he is in now, WWE never really went all in with him. Yes, he had that amazing moment at WrestleMania 30 that we'll cherish forever, but do you remember what came after that? Do you remember what his first world title program was? It was about Kane, and Kane basically murdered him. If he hadn't have got injured too, he was earmarked for that spot at SummerSlam, which John Cena eventually filled, where he got mauled by Brock Lesnar. Don't kid yourself. Don't think that John Cena was always meant to be there. He wasn't. That is because Vince McMahon wanted to see Daniel Bryan get ragdolled by Brock Lesnar. But he wasn't around, so somebody had to get subbed in, and that was John Cena, which is funny because John Cena being in that match made it a classic, because we were like, I cannot believe John Cena's getting his ass kicked this much. Whereas if it had been Daniel Bryan, we'd all look back and hate it. Well, it's a funny place. Now imagine you're the booker of World Wrestling Entertainment, or at least take on the vision and the thoughts you think that they have. You may love Daniel Bryan. You may think Daniel Bryan is everything. But are you really going to push him now when you wouldn't push him before, considering today he's got an injury that once made him retire? Isn't there going to be some serious reservations that if we do push Daniel to the moon, this may all happen again and we'll be left in the lurch? I think that could be the case. And I don't like thinking that way, but I can understand it. If the brass are worried about putting a big shiny gold braid on Daniel Bryan and then he has to vanish again, well, that's all their plans out the window, so they may think, let's not just do it. I got the words the wrong way round there, but you take my point. And will this happen? Nobody knows, but you can bet your ass that they're going to weigh out the pros and they're going to weigh out the cons, and they could come out of this conclusion. And for me, I think the conclusion is going to be a conservative one, and again, that's fine. I was never meant to see Daniel Bryan wrestling again. You've given it to me. That's why we mentioned the B. However, this is not what people hoped for, hence the disappointment. And that disappointment increased when on SmackDown, WWE started to suggest, yes, we're going to have a feud between Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. This is now a definite, and that's nothing against Big Cass. He's just a very tall man that as of yet hasn't had a chance to prove himself. He had the singles push, then he got injured. Now he's back to see if he can sink or swim. And yeah, with that in mind, I actually think putting him with someone like Daniel Bryan makes a lot of sense. I don't think I've ever seen the former American Dragon have a bad match, so why would he have a bad match here against somebody that got really tall without being educated to do so? Really though, could anyone see a monster like this walking back into WWE after being off TV for months and losing? I can't. That doesn't sound like WWE at all, and if I'm right, that means, yeah, Daniel Bryan loses to Big Cass. And I don't know how that makes you feel, but I've got an idea, because again, I saw how the internet reacted when this was even teased. Some people exploded. It seems like somewhat of a bait and switch too, because recently we got AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, and given that was ended in a DQ after Shinsuke Nakamura interrupted, the idea for some was, oh man, maybe they're going to make a triple threat match here, or maybe we're going to segue off into Bryan versus Styles, but we didn't get that. We've gone the opposite way, maybe because WWE thought to themselves, well, we ain't getting to this anytime soon, so give it to them now. And yes, that is a pessimistic point of view, but that's what the Y series is all about. It's the contrary opinion, it's devil's advocate. And be honest with yourself, that ain't out of the realms of possibility. That could have happened. Conversation could have taken place. And outside of all of this, it seems even odder that we aren't going straight into the Daniel Bryan and Miz program, because that was teased too. Instead, Big Cass has come along and he's stolen everybody's thunder. I don't know how that all plays out, but it did confuse me a tad, because maybe, just maybe, WWE doesn't see Daniel Bryan as a big-time player, and instead, he's still the gatekeeper. Either way, seriously, every time I see Daniel Bryan on my TV, my heart lights up with glee, because he's just so happy. He's the guy, he's the best guy, he's the only guy. Well, he's not the only guy, there's lots of guys, but he's my guy. I just love his passion. In that sense, I'm pleased he gets to do what lights his world up too. And yeah, WWE, if you want to push the guy to the moon like a rocket ship, I think that a lot of people would be quite happy about that. I know I would, and look at my smile. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about Daniel Bryan in the WWE after his comeback. Like, share and subscribe. Follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Head on over to WhatCulture.com. Read yourself some articles. My name is Simon from What Culture. I will see you again soon.
So that was our video. Thank you for watching. Please do feel free to click on anything happening around my head, or something terrible might happen to this dog. Is that you too sweeting me, bro? Ugh. Disgusting. That's really bad.